Joining me now, Reach Global Strategies founding partner and former George W. Bush speechwriter, Anneke Green. Thank you so much, Anneke, for being here. How do you think this plays out leading up to November? Clearly, the Democrats are trying to use this to rev up voters and get them out voting for Big Blue, so to speak, far and wide.
Yeah, I think the Democrats are clearly trying to mobilize the base with this decision, but the question will be, are voters going to care more about this than the economy, right? They may resort to deception, they may resort to histrionics and false rhetoric, like saying abortion's not going to be legal, which is false. All this decision has done is fix a problem that was created with Roe v. Wade, which was enshrining a viability standard, right? Like how far along a woman can be before she can get an abortion, with no, benchmark for where medical advances might take us, right? Where we are medically now is not where we were back then. But sure, Democrats will try to gin up the base, but by the same token, Republicans are also going to be energized because of this decision.
I'll note on that, Mitch McConnell had this to say: more than 90% of Europe restricts abortion on demand after 15 weeks. But every state in America has been forced to allow it more than a month past that. And so, and he went on to say, even after a baby can feel pain, yawn, stretch, and suck his or her thumb. But this does put greater pressure on politicians in particularly purple states that are maybe blue sometimes, maybe red sometimes, or even in some red states, because if you look at a large swath of the southern part of the country and the middle of the country, abortion is now illegal in many ways, and it will become illegal in other states.
Well, in a lot of these laws, there are carve-outs, right, for the really worst situations. There's rape carve-outs, incest carve-outs, health of the mother, fetal issues with the baby. It wouldn't survive otherwise. I think that what we're going to see, though, is people are going to start paying more attention to their local elections, to their state elections, start understanding, okay, when I vote for somebody, what are they standing for? And I think a lot of Americans now don't feel that they are represented at the federal level or the state level. So I think this could ultimately be a very good mobilizing thing for Americans.
I was reading Val Deming's tweet. Marco Rubio wanted this. I'm running to save Roe. I'm running to win, is what she said. So they're jumping on this for political gain or attempted political gain almost immediately. On that note, speaking of Congresswomen, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Maxine Waters were furious out in the street protesting. Listen to this, Anneke.
You see this turnout here? You ain't seen nothing yet. The hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them.
I don't know why Maxine Waters is talking about defiance. She lives and represents a deep, deep blue state where abortion, it's protected. Its legalization there is protected. And she also, remember, said, get in Republicans' faces. Do you worry about that rhetoric?
I definitely do. We've already seen the effects of, I'll call it crazy rhetoric, right? Where you have the leader of the Senate, Schumer, saying things like, oh, well, you're going to reap the whirlwind. And then you see people who need mental health services clearly showing up at justices' houses, like the man who showed up at Brett Kavanaugh's house. And disclosure, I worked with Brett Kavanaugh. I find it even more personally horrifying. Someone went to his house with the intent to harm him because he thought it would be a moral action in that way. So yes, we need to be concerned about that. We saw that the standards for behavior really dropped under the Trump administration with people getting in people's faces at restaurants. And that really needs to change. And we need to expect that our politicians will not support that.
I listened to President Biden's remarks earlier today, and I felt like he buried the call for peace. He buried the call for peaceful protest and discouraging violence. That should have been the first thing out of his mouth.
Absolutely. He should have said, in America, we have a strong tradition of disagreement respectfully, and we have a right to peaceful protest. But things like we're seeing where centers that care for women and families after the decision has been made, like the Capitol Hill Crisis Pregnancy Center where in Washington, D.C. that was attacked and vandalized. They provide diapers for families who are struggling. They provide social services. Right. They provide counseling and parenting classes. They're being vandalized because of rhetoric like this. And Biden missed a major opportunity. And because of the failures of his administration, it's a major reason why Democrats are seizing on this, right? As this is their Hail Mary for trying to get more Democrats into office when the record of the administration and the Congress is clear. It's not doing what Americans want.
Anneke Green, thank you so much. Great to see you. Great discussion.
Thank you.
Always. Be well.